What's up, you guys? Divine Chakras here. Welcome back. I'm trying to do like this little gene thing. Is this gonna work? No, we might not be able to do this. All right, you guys. What's up? Divine Chakras here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm actually gonna take this off because I'm really hot. And yeah, it is what it is. All right. So we are in Libra season. And we are also in Venus retrograde. And so I've had a lot on my mind. I have gone back and forth with myself about whether or not I wanted to record this video, whether or not I wanted to not record this video, but I'm deciding to do it. So without further ado, let's get started. I don't think that I really spoke about Venus retrograde in an extensive video. May have touched on it on my Libra new moon. Venus will be going into retrograde. It already went into retrograde October the 6th through November 17th or 18th, somewhere around there. It'll start in Scorpio, where it is now, and it will end in Libra. All right. Everything will be balanced and calm and even and equal by the time it is over. This Scorpio energy is something else. It stings, and it's almost a dose of reality. It's almost like a dose of a check mark to me. And a lot of readings that I've been doing have been talking about relationships, whether that is interpersonal relationships or whether that is personal relationships, meaning with yourself or with other people. It is definitely a time of reflection upon one's relationships from the past. I know that I have been encountering this energy because I have dreamed about a lot of my exes and a lot of people specifically that I have let go in my life. Very vivid dreams as well. Most of them are my exes. With this Venus retrograde energy, this is a really good time to reflect on why these situations are coming to surface and what you need to do to close the doors on these situations. And for me, it has been a trigger to bring up things that have followed me since I was in high school. So I'm just gonna, I should have gave a forewarning, but now that we're touching on this, I will. This video may not be for everyone. I may lose followers off of this video, but I am being pushed to speak in my truth and to be, again, transparent, because that is one thing that I have been working on this year, is being more transparent and being more aware of speaking in my truth and actually following through with it. All right. So I told you guys I got stories. I got stories. So when I was in high school, about grade maybe 10, so sophomore year, I started to develop different feelings. I started to develop different feelings towards men. And I started to develop different feelings towards women. And I didn't know what was going on with me at the time. I was very like intrigued by the fact that I was becoming, or I was feeling that I was attracted to women. And, I didn't really do anything with it, but I started to hang out with the lesbian crowd, the gay crowd at school, in high school. Now, this is in high school. All right, you guys. My high school was pretty big and it was a lot of people. And yeah. So one of my really good friends that one of my good friends from high school, she was also into women as well. Um, but she was more so like pursuing um like everything, okay? Meaning like she was actively dating women in high school. And, we both grew up Christian, so I was very like, I guess, in denial about it. So anyways, fast forward, 11th grade, I started working at Chuck E. Cheese, and there was this girl who is considered to be a stud in the lesbian community, which I hate labels, but I have to be like universally, like, I guess, appeasing here to the audience. So I started messing with this girl who was a stud, and I'm not gonna name any names, but anyways, we both worked at Chuck E. Cheese together, and um, we started dating at Chuck E. Cheese, and like everything was cool. Um, Everything was good, and I remember like the first time we were intimate. It was at my house, and the first time we really did anything, like the first time I've ever had like um, female on female sex. So that was 11th grade. Um, I was also in the band. I played clarinet for 13 years. I was in marching band. And so like I stayed after school one day to do band practice. And my father was coming to pick me up. This is where my father was living, obviously. And he was outside, but I wasn't outside, ready to go, waiting on him or whatever. So he comes inside looking for me. And when he comes inside looking for me, looking down the hallway, he sees me kissing a girl. And it was so hilarious because like he snatched me up out the school and like took me home and like, you know, told my mother what happened, this and the third. And I told my parents, I'm like, I like girls. Like girls. Um and my mom was like, no, this is not right. This is not right. This is against the Bible. This and the third. So they took me to counseling. And I did counseling. Counseling didn't really help because all I did was suppress my feelings. I suppressed my feelings, and it kind of eventually, the situation kind of eventually went away. But my love for women on a like sexual basis never went away. On an attractive basis, never went away. So I graduated from high school. I had a boyfriend after, um, and graduated from high school, went to college. When I got to college, I dated guys, um, here and there. My junior year, I met this girl, and she was so cute to me, and like we just became friends. Somehow, like I think one of like this girl that I knew who basically transformed from like a feminine female to like a more dominant stud female. In college, she played ball. Y'all know how the girls of basketball play. Uh, anyways, so because I knew her, like, I told her, I'm like, yo, your friend is cute. Like, what's up with her? So we ended up hooking up, and we were talking. It was college, so we didn't really do much. But remember, she was from Texas, and that was like that was like the first time like I ever really felt like something um for a female. And so like, all through college, I had this attraction to women, but I never really like did anything with it, so to say. Again, because I was suppressing my feelings. I was suppressing, how I really felt about life. And after we dealt with each other, she ended up going back to college, like, or ended up going back to Texas the next semester because she couldn't pay for school. But me and her, like, not to be graphic, but that was like my first time I ever like had like a real true sexual experience with a woman. Like everything, okay? Everything. So, and y'all probably like, what does everything mean? Like, I'm not here to like be explicit. This is still like public. So, but at this point, I'm speaking in my truth. So, anywho, fast forward. Of course, I get with my daughter's father, and we had Kennedy, and like he knew how I felt about women. We used to go to strip clubs together. We even like attempted to have a threesome at one point, and that fell through. Just all types of stuff. I told y'all I got stories. So I suppressed myself, of course, through the relationship. And after my daughter's father, like I kind of came to like a standstill in my life of energy. And I said to myself, you know what? Like, I'm just going to chill and relax and really figure out who I am deep down inside. Um, I always knew that I was attracted to women. It was never like a doubt in my mind or like a I don't know, like a denial. I never denied it. Like yeah, it was never denial. The one thing I developed over time is that I realized that I don't really like the studly looking women. I like more women that look like me. I like women who get their nails done, wear makeup, get their hair done, curvaceous, dress in heels and real cute. Like those are the type of girls I don't like. I don't like girls who look like men because I feel like I'm with a man and I feel like they have like a certain complex. Like no shade to any of my studs out there that watch me, but like I just feel like they have like a man woman complex that I just didn't I wasn't attracted to, period. So I just prefer women that look like me. When I came back to Maryland, um, I did have a few encounters with some women. I dated girls here and there, but I never like it never went any further than that. And of course, I dated guys, this, that, and the third, but it was always like dead end. Like I could never figure out why I was never satisfied in a normal heterosexual relationship. So the point of the story is that um, you know I went through several relationships. Here I am, spiritually connected and, ascending. And, the spiritual community can be very judgmental about sexuality, specifically in the Black community where, Black power, homosexuality comes from Greek culture, these things, this, that, and the third. And it really was screwing and fucking with my mind on like a spiritual level. And so I finally said, to hell with what people have to say or think. You guys know I'm very vocal in speaking my truth. Um, and I realized that, being with men just isn't for me. It isn't who I am. It isn't conducive to um, like the love life that I want to pursue going forward in my life. And so that's like my final um hey baby, I'm doing a video. What's wrong? I can't delete this out, so you'll have to go in your room and let me finish, okay? Thank you. Can you shut the door all the way? I apologize. So anyways, I decided to continue to speak in my truth and continue to pursue my desires on a soul level. With Venus retrograde, I really feel like people are going to be coming to terms with, not everyone, obviously, but there are a lot of people out here that are very curious. There are a lot of people out here who are interested in being with the same sex, but they've never pursued it, or maybe they had like an encounter and they never really like pursued it to a certain degree. You guys got to understand that we are spiritual beings, and being a spiritual being doesn't mean that you have a classification of who you love. Yes, we have, creation, we have, you know, woman versus man, feminine versus masculine, and things like that. But, at the end of the day, I feel like you cannot help who you love, you cannot help who you're attracted to. And so, I really feel like Venus retrograde is really bringing people to terms with themselves and who they are at the heart, what their desires are through love, through sex, through sexuality, through pleasure. With Venus being in Scorpio, it really is all about like a very emotional time, but it also has a sting to it. It's almost like a reality slap check. And it's like, okay, like, you're a lesbian, stop playing games. You need to just fulfill your life through what you love. You already have your child. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, lesbian couples don't have kids anyway. They have donors. There's ways of making things happen, right? And there are a lot of people that are against it. There are a lot of people obviously that don't that are not in agreement with, the lifestyle of homosexual people, and that's okay. It's nothing wrong with it. But you have to also understand that us being very magical, very esoteric, sacred knowledge, um, you know, uh, very far left radical people through metaphysics, we are also frowned upon as well. So you guys got to remember that we are all reflections, that we are all in the same boat, not necessarily in the same sense, but we all have something to reflect upon and to come to terms with. Um, when I broke up with my ex, my recent boyfriend, I told him, I said, listen, like, you know, I have a lot of healing to do on my own because I am coming to terms with the fact that I am not satisfied with being with a man. That masculine energy just isn't conducive to my spiritual growth. And that, I've always loved women. I've always dated women. This is nothing new. This is nothing like that has popped up as a curiosity. Um, it's just that, the circumstances in my life have led me to suppress it, and to bottle it up and bury it. And now they're coming back to surface. Like, it's like, nah, boo boo, you got to deal with this and you got to deal with it now. So I feel like a lot of people are going through something of that sort. Like, you're, dealing with either your own sexuality, you are dealing with your own relationships, um, you are dealing with something of the past, through love, and again through sexuality, even through money, as well. Venus is all about money too. Um, so you guys got to realize that, we are all, again, we're all reflections, and we're all going through something or experiencing something that